Hola! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Meredith Foxx, and today we are going to talk about the 3 rules of negotiation along with the golden rule. You guys, I am seriously so passionate about teaching financial advice, giving professional advice, and I honestly think negotiation is one of the best ways to increase your salary overall, to get you a better benefits package. And today I am hoping that these tips will make you more prepared and confident when you go into your next business discussion. So rule number 1 is always be prepared. And the first rule to being prepared, the first rule to being prepared is to know how much that position makes. So the best way is, of course, Glassdoor. You can go to Glassdoor, look at that exact title, look at the compensation, make sure you're looking in like the right region, because that can vary like a lot. You know, if you're looking at an engineer in Silicon Valley versus Texas, they're gonna make much different money. But look at Glassdoor. The second thing that you should do, that not a lot of people do, but you should do, is go on LinkedIn, find somebody who used to have that job, and ask them. Just send them a note and say, hey, I'm applying for this job. Can I ask you what your general salary range was? You know, they might end up giving you the exact number of what that salary was, or you might end up playing like a high-low game. Some people aren't comfortable giving an exact hard number, but you could say, hey, was it more than 60,000? And if they say yes, say, okay, well, was it less than 80,000? And then see what they say and kind of just get a feel for what they made, and then compare that to Glassdoor, and then you'll have a pretty good idea from there. The second thing that you need to do in order to be prepared is write a script. Know what you want to say going in. And with that, think of things that you think they'll say. So when you say, I want $80,000, and they come back and say, well, we'll offer you $60,000, how are you going to respond to that $60,000, that $70,000? If you say, I want to make $60,000, and they say, oh, we're gonna offer you $80,000, what do you think? Well, okay, so if you go in and say, like, you're thinking I want to make $60,000, and they say $80,000 before you can say that $60,000, how are you going to respond if the number that they say is much higher than what you were going to go for? That probably indicates that you could get even more than that $80,000, and you need to kind of readjust your base negotiation. So the other thing that you should do when you're preparing is, when they do give you that offer, always give a hard number back, never give a range. If they say, oh, you know, we'll give you 70, don't say, oh, well, I was really looking for 75 to 80. Just say, I was looking for 80, you know? You want to give them an exact number and anchor them, it's a key word here, folks, to that number. Then you need to also be able to explain why you deserve that number. You should have data based on like what other people are being paid, not people at your company. Do not say, well, Sarah makes this and Jeff makes this. Do not say what anybody else on your team makes. They're not a part of this negotiation. This is between you and the company, and that's it. So you need to provide data on what the industry standard is, what the cost of living is in your area, and the overall value added that you provide, the value add that you provide to the company. That is what is most important. If you know if you're walking into this negotiation and you know that you're underpaid $15,000 compared to your coworker, you don't want to bring that up. You honestly want to go like $20,000 higher and try and get even more money than your coworker, because 1, you know they're making that, and 2, you should probably make more money, so go for it. Also be aware of the benefits that your company offers and what benefits they don't offer, because you can build that into the negotiation as well. Also, so the 4th thing under rule number 1, be prepared, is use the word fair. Just say, I just want what's fair. Fair is not a dirty word. It's not tacky in this situation. You want equity in the company. You want the company to be investing in you as much as you are investing in the company. And you just want what's fair. You're working for them for a paycheck. You're swapping time for money. That's all you're doing. You don't owe them anything more than that, and they don't owe you anything more than what's fair, but that fairness needs to come across. Rule number 2 is to ask questions. And you need to ask questions, one, to yourself. So ask yourself why you want this negotiation to occur. So do you want more money? Do you want more vacation time? Do you want more sick leave, parental leave? Do you want to be able to go to more like conferences and trainings? Have in your mind what you want, and also think, okay, if I go in asking for 80 and they say 70, and am I okay with 70? And if I'm okay with 70, do I also negotiate for more vacation time? So really kind of go in with a game plan. And this kind of goes back to your script, where if they say 60, do I say 65 and more PTO? Or do I agree to 60 with more PTO? It's kind of one of those, like, how are you going to respond? And also know what you want, because you're creating a defense here. So the second question you need to ask is, you need to ask the negotiator. So whether it's a recruiter, HR, or your boss, why? Why is the salary that amount? Why is it $60,000? Why is it $100,000? You need to see whether they've done their market research, and they might respond, well, it's in our budget for this position to have this salary. Say, okay, well, what's the budget based on, right? Did they do their market research? You're entitled to know how your employer came to that salary number. And also, you don't want to be confrontational about this, obviously. You want to be curious, like, how did you produce that number? Because maybe they produced 75, but you produced 90 based on your market research. So it's always good to understand where that number came from, and maybe even poke holes in their analysis, or say that it's outdated, or maybe they haven't researched it in a while, but their answer needs to be justified. So rule number 3 is take a break. Don't rush the negotiation process at all. If you reach a number and let's say they say 80,000 and you're happy with 80,000, but maybe you think you could get 85 or 90, or you just want to do more research, you don't have to agree right away. And whether it's face-to-face or over email, you can just say, if it's face-to-face, just say, thank you, I really like this offer, but I need to think about it a little bit more. I need to look at the total, I need to reevaluate the total benefit package and kind of look at where I'd be sitting as far as like my 401k contribution and all of that. Same in an email. Just when they send you that offer, just email them back right away and say, thank you. I really like this offer. Let me think about it a little bit more and I'll get back to you in the next day or so. You know, obviously you don't want them to be approaching other candidates, but also you need to take your own time and think about the offer. So the 3 things that we covered for negotiation is be prepared with your script, come prepared with data points and an explanation as to why you deserve this increase in salary or benefits, whatever it is. Ask questions both to yourself prior to the negotiation and then to the negotiator, and then take a break and take your time to really decide what you want out of this negotiation. And you don't have to say yes right away. All of these rules have helped me more than double my salary in the past 3 years, and I really think they'll help you as well. And finally, the golden rule of any negotiation is be the anchor. And what is the anchor? So the anchor on a boat, right, drops down into the ocean and it keeps that boat in that place. So you'll hear a lot with negotiations that you don't want to be the first one to say a number, because obviously you don't want to be too low, right? You never want to be too low. But if you've done your research and you know, okay, so this job generally goes from 70,000 to 90,000, I think I'd fall in that 90,000 range. Even if you don't think you'd fall in that 90,000 range, still say you fall in that 90,000 range. And anchor the conversation at 90,000, say, or even 95,000. Say, you know, I really think I'd like a salary of $95,000, and this is why. And then give your list of reasons. Now, that $95,000 might be on the very, very high end of their range, or it might be slightly outside of their range, but you have just mentally anchored the conversation around $95,000. So usually a conversation or any type of negotiation goes off of that first number. So think of if the reverse happened, right? And if you walked in and you're thinking 95, 95, 95, and they spit out 75, what does your number drop to, right? Your number is going to drop down to 75, or you're going to awkwardly say 95, and you're going to have this huge disparity, and it's just not going to work, because they're going to give you maybe the mid to low end of the range, and you want to shoot for the high end of the range. Now, obviously, if a job's high end is 95, you don't want to say $130,000 or $150,000. That's just ridiculous. But you should shoot, you know, maybe a little bit outside of the range, and don't be afraid to anchor the conversation around that 95,000, because then the negotiator might say, okay, 85. You say, oh, and in your head you really just want 90, so maybe you say 90, or maybe you end up at 87, but you get some more PTO days. So really just be the anchor in the conversation, tie your boat down in that spot, and let the negotiation go from there. So I hope that these tips were helpful for you guys. My name is Meredith Foxx. Make sure you go to my financial blog and my professional development website linked down below. Evolved Phoenix is my baby that I'm growing. Hit that like and subscribe button for this video. I produce financial and career success videos and money management videos as well. And I'll see you next time. Bye!